Grace and peace. This is part 2 of We Get What We Want. Listen, so I know that this is something that I have to do because the enemy is really busy, and we're not going to give him credit today, but anytime God is about to bless, you know he's about to bless because all hell breaks loose. Okay, so let me make sure I have good lighting so I can continue this conversation. So, you get what you want. Okay, so I started this story off yesterday a little bit slow, and I was talking about my daughter. This main testimonial and this series mostly is all about my daughter. The way I got her was because, long story short, her biological egg donor was very abusive. So much so that the day that the straw that broke the camel's back, Lord, the straw that broke the camel's back, and the day that I actually had to step in and do something, my daughter's biological egg donor had drop kicked her at the young age. She was under 4, and she got drop kicked for playing in nail polish. Now, to preface this or to give you some background, she had been a stripper. She had been in the club. She came home frustrated. She had personal issues going on. They were actually living with me because I allowed the biological and the girlfriend to live with me in my home because they are blood relatives. Okay, so let's move forward. The police were called because of the violence, and they asked me if I was kin. I said, yes, I'm kin. And they asked me if I wanted to do emergency custody order. And I then at that time did that. The next day I had to go to the court. I got a guardian ad litem who had to come in my home to make sure that I could properly feed and provide for my daughter. That was many, many years ago. And after that, in this series, I want to make it known that after that, the court had ordered that there was no visitation and no contact whatsoever. And the spirit of rejection sometimes has dealt with my daughter, but because I love her so much, I chose to be her mother. I chose to work very hard. I chose to work my fingers to the bone till I was tired. I chose to spoil the mess out of her. Everything she wanted, she always got. I just chose to do everything in my power because I wanted to be her mother, to provide for her. Now, what am I saying in all of this? So let's fast forward a couple years. In 2015, I met my now husband. And I believe my daughter during that time was about 5. I met my husband. And so she asked him, could he be her daddy? Me and my husband were just friends at that time. But because she wanted, now notice I'm pointing out what we want here, because she wanted a father in her life and she loved his personality. He's bigger than life. He's a big kid. She wanted him to be her daddy. So he agreed. But before he finally agreed to her, he came to me and said, hey, how would you feel if I also was his father? So the next time you go to court, can we make that happen? I thought about it and I kind of teeter-tottered. Long story short, I decided yes. So we went to court. We signed the final documents to become her parents. And voila, my daughter has 2 parents. And so that was amazing at that point. And because we wanted her so bad and we loved her, especially me, there wasn't anything, including giving her a father, that I would not do. Then let's fast forward maybe a year later. We had another court hearing. Just to go over the custody and things like that. The egg donor did show up to court. And the court then questioned her. She had not changed. She had beat someone up on the train. It was just a whole long mess. So, against the judge's ruling, my husband decided to allow her to come to our house. He invited her to our house to visit with my daughter. And she did that. And then she disappeared for a long time, maybe about 6 months. And then Christmas came around and she decided that she wanted to come and give some gifts. And then after Christmas, my daughter's birthday is in March. She decided to send some gifts. And then we didn't hear from her for about a year. And then the following year, there were gifts and there were birthday gifts and there were Christmas gifts. And this became a pattern that I began to get frustrated with, because I felt like if she wanted a real relationship, if she wanted to be in my daughter's life, she wouldn't just show up when it was a celebration, because real mothers are there through thick and thin. I'm going to stop here. This was part 2. It does get a little bit more juicy. I am so excited to be able to share this because I want to help somebody. I really want to help somebody. So we're going to stop here and then we'll share part 3 soon.